Welcome. There is a trilogy made only of underwater levels. Survival demands wits, reflexes, and high-tech submarines. Failure means all of humanity is doomed to drown. This is the saga of a series of games named Aquanox. First-person shooters aren't always about running with guns. Sometimes you take a ship across deadly scenarios, and in the Aquanox series, nothing is more dangerous than the deep blue seas. In the first Aquanox, a biotech faction called the Bions aims to wipe out what's left of humanity, and it's up to Emerald Flint and his crew to stop the Bion threat for the sake of our species. But as soon as the game starts, we learn Flint's ship has been stolen, so it's back to square one and he has to loan a ship from a mob boss. Flint isn't happy, taking small jobs to get by, but as luck would have it, these are dangerous seas, and Flint will need to gather his crew to fight off human and less human enemies. And that's about it. Go from mission to mission, get paid, buy new weapons and ships, save humanity. Aquanox 2 follows another hero, William Drake, who became an orphan after a pirate attack and is the last heir of a mining company. All he's ever done is help run things until his grandmother dies, and he decides to take off with the ship to explore the oceans. Of course, things go south when William answers a fake SOS by a random pirate, fights him off, and runs back to his ship to find it has been taken over by pirates. But I guess they are kind of generous by letting him prove himself to them. They do accept him, a little, and soon enough William develops romantic bonds and helps out on bounties paid by other factions. Similar to the first game, dialogue during missions doesn't say a lot, but docking somewhere lets NPCs share what they know, and the already familiar ship upgrade system comes back to boost my chances of helping out me mateys. Recently, the Aquanox series came back for another story of underwater dystopia. Choosing the tutorial mission gets me into a simulation meant to help those who have been under deep cryosleep so I can get readjusted to the world outside. Now, anyone new to Aquanox won't know why they're in the water or why they need to pilot a submarine. So let's assume I'm a marine biologist and I need to learn how to maneuver the ship, how to avoid possible hazards, and out the spots for salvage lost in the water that I can use to my advantage. And by that I mean crafting your own ammunition and shield boosters. So maybe not a marine biologist after all? As the simulation ends, something goes wrong and an old man named Ishmael tries to debrief 100 years of history in 1 second. Humanity destroyed itself out of hubris. You know, the standard. Cities on fire, nature collapsed, so it was time to run for the safety of the ocean deep. Except that plan didn't work either. As such, Ishmael ended up on a mission to find 4 very important people, forgotten in cryostasis, who may turn out to be the key for the survival of our species against the Bions, the nanoplague, and the other dangers of this world that is now known as Aqua. As anyone would imagine, it's a very rough awakening, but it gets so much worse when Ishmael tries to take my crew to safety, only to find a Bion squad in the way. And the only way out is for the old man to sacrifice himself so I can escape. When the coast seems clear, a larger patrol shows up, but I'm rescued by the Tupalak steered by Captain Toshiro Hokabe, a man that, much like my crew, is what others in Aqua call a cryo. People left in cryostasis during the fall of humanity. The chat with the captain and the crew makes the voice acting really stand out, but other than mission-related scripts, the dialogue doesn't update. Ever. But there's more to do here, and it wouldn't be an Aquanox game without ship upgrades. Not a lot to begin with, but scavenging can unlock decent firepower if mission progress doesn't. Oh, and I can paint the ship, but this is a first-person shooter. What's the point? As we go back in the water, the Tupalak gets a distress signal from a ship belonging to a key faction in Aqua. Not everyone is happy about helping them, but it seems the right thing to do. So we fight off some pirates, and the pilot asks for help fixing a jump gate to reach his base. Everyone agrees because we need that gate too. This finally gives me some time to soak in the sights. Pun intended, not sorry. Everything looks very well put together and gives a right cold and dark mood one would expect from the bottom of the ocean. But the more open spaces don't feel half as tense as when I reach this abandoned facility and I'm suddenly forced to fight in very close quarters. Claustrophobic combat is something else. I find the parts at the end of the maze-like facility, and this triggers one of many interesting debates among the heroes, giving a bit more insight into their personalities and how the story will play out. And the narrative in Aquanox shows a tendency to have main characters picking sides between factions, while the fate of Aqua depends on something bigger. Regardless, I go back to fix the gate, and learn the game runs on an open world. I can go back not just on a given ocean, but between oceans too. It's a nice detail in case I need to come back for something I forgot. I'm now ready to take the gate so I can reach Heartbreak Ridge. occupied by the mighty Atlantic Alliance, remnants of the Western military and governments. So of course when I get there, I'm detained. Figures. However, the situation does get sorted out when they learn I saved their ship, and Okabe takes a shot asking for intel on a man named Nemo. Problem is, Captain Walsh here won't help looking for wanted men for free. So it's up to me to restore power to this station's perimeter defenses, as nobody wants to fight the nanofauna infesting the area. That's right, we didn't just wreck the planet's surface, we helped creating a living threat that infects and takes over other creatures and keeps doing that. Think zombie kamikaze sharks and you get the point. Fight infected swarms, check. Generators backup, check. But it seems I got tricked, and there's another favor left, this time in the pirate zone. This triggers our first secondary quest from Fletcher, former Alliance member with a grudge on them, turned pirate and later rescued by Okabe. But there's another side quest at the Alliance base, a bounty hunting mission, and I'm taking that one right away because 1, I get to practice my combat skills, and 2, it's good pay and I need that for my upgrades. So I go back to the base to collect my reward and upgrade the ship so I can sail for pirate waters. When I get to my destination, the yellow tint of polluted waters feels kinda depressing, but having different biomes to show I'm on a different part of the ocean is smart. However, I came here for a job, and that implies shooting, followed by more shooting, and I have to admit the combat in Aquanox feels fun without the need to be a combat expert because, hey, who told this guy it was okay for him to get a shield? Well, besides the main mission, the area has a lot of resources I'll need later on. There's also Fletcher's stash that can be delivered for an obvious cash reward, but also adds a little character background. Even though that never gets mentioned ever again. Why would someone bother creating a backstory if it's not meant to develop? Anyway, mission complete, Captain Walsh is happy and tells us to go to Port Royale for Operation Finding Nemo. Come on, the joke was right there. But before I go, the captain gives me a bunch of free stuff. Seems the Alliance isn't so bad, right? Along the hull I got, there's a brand new ship with better stats, and this one allows for more weapons to be added, which turns out to be kind of expensive. Fortunately, I can't trade the resources I picked up earlier and buy everything I need. I make my way to a Senthic gate, the original jump gates humans copied the technology from. That's right, we didn't make these and everyone is fine with it. But guess what? Okabe warns about possible side effects when crossing. And as soon as the jump begins, these 4 very amnesiac heroes on my crew start getting very clear flashbacks of the life they had a century ago, revealing they were part of a secret project meant to save our species. Left with more questions than answers on the other side of the gate, there's a tense feeling again seeing we're crossing a hostile faction's territory, Okabe sounds like he's hiding something, and yet more nanofauna attacks. Everyone makes it to Port Royale though, and our search for answers seems closer to an end. We approach a pirate fortress to look for a man named Adisa who knows where Nemo is. But, just like before, Nemo is too important to be just handed over, so Adisa sends me on missions where I have to fight against factions, such as the Atlantic Alliance, to test my resolve in reaching the most wanted man in the ocean. When we get back, the pirate boss shares a secret. Okabe is hiding the fact he chose to unfreeze my crew on purpose. And after sending me on a spy mission, he confirms Nemo is using bion technology to live longer. But that's not all he's using from bions. Nemo has actual bions helping him, like the one who tried to capture us right at the beginning, because he promised he could break them free of the hive mind. Not sure Nemo can deliver here, but worse yet, Adisa's remarks on our 4 very naive cryos are the key to everything just doesn't sound good. Ignoring all red flags, I take my ship back in the water to chase the elusive Nemo, not 100% sure if he's the promised savior or the game's ultimate villain, or even if I'll find him at all. And that might be the common thread between the 3 Aquanox games. Whoever the hero is, they keep chasing a crumb trail while staying oblivious of the obvious danger in the horizon. Yet, that works. It's how I got pushed from one spot to the next, enjoying the best about these games, sinking my enemies in cool looking places, especially on this last episode. Sure, the series' plot twists and dialogues feel cheap, and most NPCs are useless, which makes the world feel emptier than it actually is. But I like the lore and the voice acting, not to mention the ship upgrade system helps creating your own playstyle. So to sum it up, the Aquanox series isn't all it could have been, but it also isn't the worst underwater experience in the history of video games. That's for sure. Thank you for joining me on the saga of Aquanox. I hope it was fun to watch. Be sure to like the video if you think so. Have you ever played any of the Aquanox or any similar games? Then add your piece to the comments and join the saga. Oh, and after that, I've got more videos waiting for you, so why not go and check them out? And hey, if you like what you saw on this one and would like to see me upload more of these, then let me know by subscribing. Then if you feel like it, go drop by my social media to see what I'm up to. Guess that's all for this one, and I'll catch you on the next.